Well, what? I'm already laughing. I'm already laughing because look, it's not good to get worked up, okay? Anyway, I'll tell you one thing. Welcome. Um, they're going to dress it up as a great feat. They're going to dress it up as a great feat. They've definitely been exciting. Let's start with this since we're about to discuss the referee. But hey, in agonizing matches and all that, they have their reasons to be happy because of that adrenaline and excitement that football gives you when you win in the last minutes, right? But of course, I insist they're going from one feat to another, quote unquote, against Cape Verde, Egypt, after a group with Jordan, Algeria, and Austria. And now that's it, Egypt. And the next one, well, I hope it's Colombia, but it could be Switzerland. And then Norway could show up too. And they could make it to a World Cup final, having played against all these teams, right? But what I think, football wise, is that Argentina is not doing well. They're not doing well. But the only thing that could help them mejorar, improving on a football level, and it always has a lot to do with this sport, is the emotional boost, right? That motivation you get from winning this way, even if it's against two opponents, no matter how they want to tell it. But please, Cape Verde and Egypt, that's all it can do for them. It won't improve their play. That's not how you get better. But to think you're indestructible, I mean, even if you come back against these two teams, well, with Cape Verde, it wasn't really a comeback, but you get what I mean. It makes you believe you're indestructible because in the end, you're in the quarterfinals of a World Cup, no matter who you've beaten to get there. But I insist. And that's why I laugh and all that. I don't let it get to me. And I have no reason not to want it. I've always admitted that I didn't want Messi to win the last World Cup because I didn't want Messi to win a World Cup. I didn't care about Argentina. I have family and friends from there. It wasn't about Argentina. It was about Messi. I'm a Madrid fan. Do I really have to explain everything? But after he won one, I don't care if he wins another. I mean, I don't want it either, but it's just not that important to me now. I laugh. And what's clear is that what we've seen today with Argentina, well, if we look at the details, if we really look at the details, it's not such a huge scandal that they disallowed that goal, which would have been Egypt's second. And then Egypt scores the second. I mean, this wasn't the third, it was the second one that was disallowed, and then they did score the second. If you really look at the details, I don't think it's anything scandalous either. Now, before you stop the video, because you're going to say, no, Miguel, no, relax. They don't do this to almost any other national team. Because I'm reading refereeing experts who are saying that. And also, we're going to see now in the characteristics that an APP play has to have for it to be disallowed, for a goal to be disallowed. Look, here, there are people talking about a bad intervention by VAR in that action. There is a stomp on Alessandro Martinez, but it wasn't reviewable by VAR under any logic of the APP protocol. The foul happens in the corner of the opposite field, and all of Argentina was well positioned. Very bad from VAR, but well, there are interests to protect, says this analyst, whose name is Juan Gutman Gasso. Careful, there are people who think it was correctly disallowed. Archivo VAR is saying it was correctly disallowed, but I've seen more people saying no, that it wasn't correctly disallowed than those who say yes. Right? Now let's go with, as I said, what needs to happen for a play like that to be disallowed. The fact of not catching Argentina in a situation where they're not well positioned on the field. Less distance, more intervention. Greater distance, less intervention. Fouls in the APP must always be clear to everyone. The greater the distance, the bigger and clearer the foul must be. The direction should be direct and forward, meaning few passes. Direct and frontal, nothing to do with it. I insist it happened in the right corner of the opposing field, right? Ball possession, total possession, 100%. It's true that there's no second phase. Argentina doesn't recover the ball. Number of defenders, a well-positioned team with a chance to get the ball, to defend themselves. That's what we just saw. The whole Argentine team was well-positioned. It's true that the counterattack starts, but the whole Argentine team was well-positioned. A poorly positioned team with no chance of getting the ball or being caught off guard. Well, it's on the edge. That's why I say it's not something that, well, if it were, I'd be furious here, right? It's not something so outrageous either. I always tell you the same thing here, that even if it's not outrageous, we always show it. If it were the other way around, would they do this to another team? Would they disallow a goal like that? Would they do the same for Argentina if the roles were reversed today? An Argentine goal? A foul by an Egyptian near the attacking corner flag? I don't think so. That's where the scandal is. That's where the scandal is. It's just adding insult to injury, right? Well, anyway, it's unbelievable. Not before, after. This happens in the last play when Argentina has already scored the third goal. By the way, a side note, despite all this, what Messi does is incredible. I told you from day one when he scored 3 goals against Algeria. I know it's Algeria. I said this at the start of the video. It's Algeria, it's Austria, it's Jordan, it's Cape Verde, it's Egypt. Even so, what Messi does is crazy. And you're going to tell me, yes, everything goes in his favor. Whatever. But this guy always shows up. And about Messi's goal, even after missing a penalty, they get scared. By the way, the penalty they gave to Argentina was also borderline, totally borderline. You can call it a penalty, of course. If it happens to Egypt, they call it too. I don't think so. What would have happened if this had been done to Argentina in the box of the Albiceleste team, right? When Madrid gets here, McAllister. Look, McAllister is here to begin with. He's not looking at the cross. Just look at McAllister here. He's not looking at the cross. He's worried about the Egyptian arriving late to finish, or the ball could reach him, so he grabs him. He intends to grab him outside the box, but the hold continues inside the box. Is a grab like that enough? Is it enough to bring him down? Are these kinds of penalties usually called? I don't think so. It's not enough. They're rarely called. Again, we should look at it from the other perspective. Yeah, we need to look at it differently. Clearly, he's stopping him from getting there. Does the Argentine player control the ball and get away? Yes. I think all of this is also taken into account later. I mean, can you see the grab? No matter how small it is, you can see it. Does it have an impact because the Argentine player's clearance is enough? I mean, is the control clear enough for him to get the ball? Would the Egyptian never have gotten there? That too. I mean, let's not get too carried away, right? Now, since we're always talking about the issue of intervention, well, man, of course, interpretation, not intervention, interpretation. Well, it's a double-edged sword. It's what referees use best to bend the rules, right? There would be people who would interpret this as, yes, it's a penalty, right? Because, of course, there is contact. Imagine he goes to the VAR and says, there's contact. Does he let him go forward? I mean, he doesn't let him go forward. What is he doing throwing his arm out? Damn it. Well, penalty, of course. But he doesn't go to VAR. Right after this comes this one from Salah. In this one from Salah, it's the same. I'll say the same thing I always say. Can you call a penalty? I don't think this is a penalty, and I'll explain why. First, the Argentine player intercepts the ball here. No, I can't show it that quickly. He intercepts and touches the ball. He intercepts it. Salah can't get past him. It gets away from him. But it's true that when neither of them has possession of the ball, he hits him, he doesn't step on him because he's not stepping on him, he's hitting him. But it's true that Salah has already planted his foot, and he's had his foot planted for a while. I mean, it's very, very borderline. I'll say the same thing again. Maybe if it were reversed, he'd call it. But it's not a reason to burn everything down. Let me explain. It's not a reason to burn everything down. Yeah, the thing is, and I repeat myself, it's just one thing after another. We had what we had in the last World Cup, and now we're dealing with this. Because Messi's foul on the Algerian player on the first day, in the first match, was a red card offense, but he didn't get sent off and so on, etc. That's where it all started. But what's clear, as I posted here in a tweet, is that if you call one, you have to call the other when reviewing an action before a goal. But of course, because this was a penalty and it was deadly for Argentina, and that's where the scandal is, right? And look, nowhere in the rules does it say that a penalty has to be more of a foul than any other foul elsewhere on the field. If you call that one, you must call this one too. That's the point. I've said that neither of them separately should have been called. The one from Egypt shouldn't have disallowed the goal, nor should this one be a penalty. But damn, if you called that one, you have to call this one. There's also this thing with Nahuel Molina, who wasn't penalized at all, not even a foul or a yellow card. It's unbelievable, man. It's just relentless. It's like Chinese water torture. Well, incredible. This is incredible, guys. The match between France and Morocco will be refereed by an Argentine with his entire Argentine team. The other day, Infantino's daughter showed up here wearing a Morocco jersey. And imagine the worst. I'm also tying this to whether Morocco will get the 2030 World Cup final, which I think they will. There's a huge movement going on there. That's part of another video. But Spain and Portugal were the first to secure this World Cup. Remember that first Ukraine was invited and then not, and then Morocco shows up and now wants the World Cup final. There's something strange going on in the Spanish Football Federation, and some of you might say, well, they deserve it. It wouldn't be so bad for them, but I think there's something there that they can't control, and it's very suspicious. Infantino's dealings with Morocco, especially in the context of what happened at the Africa Cup. We'll keep seeing outrageous moments in this World Cup. What happened with Balogun was incredible. I already made a video about it. Trump's explanation was unbelievable. I mean, the fact is, yes, I called because this didn't seem right to me. I don't really understand. I didn't know that with a red card. I didn't even know red cards existed, Donald Trump. And he admits that he called FIFA. This, I mean, really, what's happening in this World Cup is incredible, incredible. The thing with FIFA and with this Infantino guy, who is an absolutely sinister person, really sinister. I mean, we can expect the worst. And well, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if what happened with Argentina today is a huge scandal or if it wasn't that big of a deal. I'll read your comments. Hope all goes well for you. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.